All right, we showing live on Google. Let's see what YouTube says. Thinking about it. There we go. All right, everybody. Sorry for the delay. It's all BJ's fault. Um, and usually
Yep.
it's fun because usually we give Kyle more crap than anybody about being late. Usually BJ's here every time, so I'll give him a pass for this week. Um,
I got a double header tomorrow next week and a double header the week after that now because of the rain out from last week.
gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
busy for you guys then. Um, yeah. So this week has been a crazy week as far as comic book news. We've got a lot going on. Last week we really didn't get to talk about last week's comics. Of course, car alarm. Uh, but wanted to take some time today to talk about Infinity Wars #1 because that was a big book. If you've not read it, you need to go read that book now. Um, and I know you've read it, BJ, and I have too. So if you haven't read it, sorry, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers for the book today. I know we've been wanting to talk about it for a bit on it. So, what do you think, BJ? Especially the ending.
I haven't read it yet.
What the fine? Ah! We wanted to talk about it.
No.
He still haven't read the damn book. All right, we'll wait till next week then.
I guess I'll have to go buy it this weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't picked it up yet.
Well, did you get at least? Did you get Infinity Wars Countdown or Infinity Prime? Infinity Wars Prime.
No, no, not
Okay.
yet.
You're gonna want those two books, and I'll just say that there's a bunch of deaths in both of them.
Well, I know about the ending of I guess it's Prime. One of the major guys that's out there. One of the main villains passed away.
Yeah, one of the main villains passed away, and then one of the major heroes dies in Infinity Wars one. Uh, I know, right? Rabbit Hammer says BJ just killed Nate's buzz. I was all excited to talk about this week too. That's all right. But we've got a lot of stuff to really talk about tonight. One thing I wanted to talk a lot about tonight is comic movies and shows and how it's starting to change the dynamic of comic books. For example, we just got found out that Ruby Rose is going to be Batwoman now in the DC universe. And typically, it's funny if you watch comic books, they don't really, go up in value a lot unless they're like Silver Age or Bronze Age. But now that book is starting to skyrocket. Like the first appearance of Kate Kane, Batwoman, is starting to jump up in price, all because of the show. Same way Birds of Prey did a couple of weeks ago once they announced, hey, there's going to be a Birds of Prey movie. Um, and so it's going to be a big change in comics now because the market is actually reflecting what's going on with the shows a lot. So we had this discussion before, BJ, about like how much Marvel uses MCU universe now inside their comics. Exiles is a perfect example. They have the MCU Valkyrie as a team member. She's a core member of the team. So it's like, here you go. You know, so there's been a lot of that done, especially in the MCU world. Not so much in the DC world. The DC side hasn't done it a lot, but now they're picking up all their shows. Like you had Titans, from the DC extended universe. You've got Batwoman. I mean, we've got so much stuff about to come out from DC. It's just crazy. Cringy says, "Give me some Transformers, I'll be all right." All right, that's exactly right.
Yep,
Comic books and bots, I'm good, man.
sir.
All right. So, BJ, what have you seen lately, like around your area? Has comics started going kind of up in price for you guys because of the TVs and the movies, or is it just about status quo?
It's just status quo. I don't think Columbia is too big on getting these first appearance as of right now, and probably after maybe if it's a good show or like a good movie, probably they'll probably start coming out of the woodwork. Um, and possibly one of the others, like the other main stores, would possibly have that. Finding it and putting it up for extra dollars as well. Besides that, I just see a lot of people just grabbing their regular subscription and just getting those and maybe some trades and whatnot. Just at the store I usually go to, but he does other things besides comics. He does toys, CDs still, DVDs, records, VHS, all that stuff. So he's a mixture of everything. The main comic book store would probably be something called Heroes and Dragons. He does just comic books and toys, and I would probably say, yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. It's just on the town, but if definitely be that comic book store to do that.
Well, and that's kind of what I've been seeing, like at mine with Hypno Comics, is like there's some variant covers are being raised a little bit on certain books, as far as prices. Now we all get it, the 1 in 25, the 1 in 50, or the 1 in 100 variants. Those are going to jump up in price. That's just a give me.
Yeah,
Um, but the nice thing that they've done lately is that they're not really holding on to a lot of those like first appearance books. Like it goes in, it goes out. It's not like it's sitting on a shelf like 6 years. We've seen books like that, where they're just asking an astronomical price, and it's been sitting there for years. It's always going to happen in certain places. Mine, I kind of educate them on that. I was like, don't do that. If anything, undersell it and sell it, and then ask them, hey, we're going to sell this one too. Would you be interested in buying this one to go with it? Like a good example, I bought, the Iron Fist 14, the first appearance Sabretooth. Well, I bought that, then I got this first cameo for like $10 to go with it. Of course,
mm-hmm.
the cameo doesn't have jack; it's not really worth much, but that first appearance is. Just a
Yeah,
little bit of business. Comic shops do it, and mine does the same thing. It's got toys. It's got was it Warhammer. It does magic. It does all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that a normal LCS does. But what's getting ours is like they are getting tons and tons of stuff that we want, like Mezco, SH, Marvel Legends, DC Multiverse, or what was that? DC Essentials now.
yeah,
That's cool. They're really starting to pick that up a lot, and that's definitely helping out other people because we all know at the comic shop, the kind of used to be, it was nerdy to go to the comic shop, because that's all it was comics back then. You see some toys here and there, but it was mostly just a big place for comics, and that was it. You go looking through bins for hours. Um, Now that they've opened it up to the collectible community, it's helped out a lot. And I wanted to talk about that for a minute too. BJ, me, and Kyle all want that Hellboy figure that's coming out from Dark Horse. That's a prime example of that, where Dark Horse Direct had it for a certain price with an extra bonus accessory with the horns and with the sword and stuff. And it was like what I think it was what $30 more or $20 more, I think.
about $25 more.
Yeah, but you can go order it directly through your LCS for the regular version, or through Big Bad Toy Store, and get it. Um, that's what we're seeing a lot done now because of Diamond. So if you don't know what Diamond is a distributor of comics and toys to local comic shops, and they've actually are partners with a lot of companies now, including Hasbro, Mezco, SH Figuarts, you name any big name, Diamond is a partner with them. So if you can't find something locally, go ask them if your LCS can order it for you. It's going to be more expensive than retail, of course, typically. But if you've got a pull box, you get a percentage off anyways, so you might as well go that route. I mean, if y'all saw one of my last unboxing videos or haul videos, I got the whole Venom wave for free because of credit I had with my LCS. So guys, go in, trade in all your old books, get money out of it. Don't get it in cash, get it in credit, and then use the credit again, to get what you want. But it's getting better. I can see things are like picking up finally at my store. Like we finally now just got SH Figuarts and Mesco's again, because excuse me, if y'all remember, we went through that transition about 5 months ago of ownership, and that takes time. That doesn't mean we didn't miss out on a lot of exclusive stuff, but what that also means is now that us that are still there are there. We're the loyal customers, so they're going to help us out first.
Mhm.
Um, but wanted to go through the comments real fast. We got Sith AF. He says the same with the Spider-Verse comics. Um, with the announcing of Marvel, of course, getting Fantastic Four, MCU, and Deadpool, they already said they've got big plans for them next year already once the deal's
Oh, wow.
finalized. So the actual, what was it, Eisner, Bob Eisner, whatever his name is, the CEO of Disney. He said, I'm doing a bunch of stuff with it now. He said, I got my own plans, and Kevin Feige is part of it. So if that's any indication, we know we're going to be getting a lot of good stuff out of them.
Hey, man. Maybe get some X-Men versus Avengers, maybe Secret Wars. Um, that'd be cool if they had bring Namor into there too. I wouldn't mind seeing Namor on the big screen.
I'm actually wondering, like, if Namor's not the catalyst of it, him or Apocalypse, because remember they're the first mutants in the hit. Like,
Yeah.
really, Namor was the first mutant in comics, from the '40s, from the time Lee and Marvel, and then of course Apocalypse was brought around. They said no, he's been around since Egyptian time, so he's the really technically the first mutant. It'd be kind of cool if they interwoven those stories to it. I'm still sticking to my guns. I think it's all Scarlet Witch's fault. We're gonna have a House of M event or something like that, where she
Oh,
destroys the multiverse kind of thing again, and
yeah.
it brings everybody together.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds about how Sam.
yeah, because they're gonna have to do it some kind of dramatic thing because they haven't talked about the multiverse yet in the MCU universe. They've talked about
Mhm.
different realities. They've talked about time placement. They've thought, all the other stuff, but multiverse stuff. So in the Marvel 616 universe, the Prime Marvel, they know of other Earths. They know of other universes. So it's like, all right, when the hell is Doctor Strange going to put two and two together and figure that out?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll finally get a movie Deadpool Legends at SHF. Yeah, in our dreams, Cream City. They've been dragging their feet on giving us MCU Deadpool figures for a long time, and this might be the only avenue we finally get them, because that is technically the holdup is that Hasbro does not have the rights to the Fox owned people anymore. So that's why Hasbro hasn't been able to give us Fantastic Four figures with all the movies that came out, Deadpool, and X-Men figures. So that was kind of whoopsie on Hasbro's part by not having those rights with Fox. But I'll be honest though. I want to get that Deadpool with the freaking Baraka arms, from X-Men Origins Wolverine. They just need to do that figure. That would be cool, with Ryan Reynolds with his mouth sewed up, and the Wolverine arms, and he's got the Wolverine arms. Dude, if they make that figure, that'd be so awesome. I've seen a lot of customs made for it, but it would be cool to actually see a real version of it. But I can guarantee Reynolds will be like, "Oh hell no, I don't. I just don't even want nobody to remember that movie."
Yeah.
All right. So the other big thing this week, of course, was Fantastic Four #1 came out this week, which this is the first Fantastic Four we've had since Jonathan Hickman was doing it back, about 5 or 10 years ago, where we actually had a full Fantastic Four series. You had Hickman and Epting, where they said they'll kill off the Fantastic Four, and then of course we saw them in Secret Wars. They went to a magical universe in Secret Wars, um,
Yeah.
and then Johnny
Batman.
and Ben were left on Earth to deal with the issues. So of course, flash forward to this last year and this year, Marvel 2-in-1 brought Ben, Graham, and the Human Torch back together, and they figure, all right, we're gonna go try to find Reed and Sue, all the time knowing that they're gone, they're dead, and Ben knows that they're dead. Um, so I'm not gonna give spoilers for Fantastic Four #1, All I will say is that there is a lot going on in this book. We'll talk
Right.
about this book specifically next week once everybody's got a chance to read it. It just came out yesterday, so all I will say is like out of all the books I got, I've read two, and the other one was a Sandman book for that reason. All right, so Kiwi and Rabbit Hammer, what's up, guys? Um, let's see here. All right, so what did you get this week, Beach?
Before we do that, I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about something that one of the members brought up in the conversation this week. He was having trouble with his LCS and his subscriptions not being in his book. And he's like, "How many times do you give a chance for your LCS before you have to say goodbye?" I've had some issues with mine just because nobody's perfect. It's unfortunately it's not. His situation sounds a little bit more worse than mine, but being at this one for so long, and he would always hook me up. It's like, I'm sorry, let me get this for you, but I tell you what, I'll just give you half off on this right now. Next time it comes in, or I'll special order for you, and we'll go ahead and get you a discount. If they do something like that, then yeah, go ahead and keep on doing that. But if they're gonna give you some BS answer, it's not an LCS store, it's just somebody trying to make his own money, don't give a crap about anybody else. I've seen a store like that, and it's now gone because of that. He doesn't treat his members well, you're not going to get any business. If you're going to be a stuck up person, go F yourself.
Yeah, I remember he actually put a comment in today that he went and got some stuff and I guess switched to a new LCS too. Um, I've been in those boats too, where like mine's a good example. Hypno is a perfect example. They're honest. They'll say, um, "All right, we lost Beach."
No, I'm right here.
All right.
I
Uh,
had to open up the door so my dog can come in and hang out with me.
I've been in the same predicament where I'm trying to get a bunch of books, especially when it's crossover times for a lot of series and stuff like that. You need all those issues to get together to make the complete story arc, and it's like
Yep.
that's what I want. Um,
Yes.
and they were not able to get, I think, 7 out of the 10 crossover books because they didn't want to order extra things to get the books. It's like variants, I understand. Like, hey, you don't want to order 50 of one just to get one variant. I get that one.
Yeah.
But if I'm asking you just, hey, I need a copy of what was it, Great Lake Avengers, a copy of USA Avengers, and a copy of um, what was it, Ultimates Squared. I said I need one copy of each. That's all I need. You can hook it up, great. And they said we'll take care of you. And of course, went back to the week, and then the next week, and they still ain't there. Because if you think about it too, when you order from an LCS, you're talking 2 to 3 weeks usually by the time it gets to you. So just be
Yeah.
patient with them. It isn't like I ordered it today; it's going to be here next Wednesday. It doesn't work that way because they have to send the order to Diamond. Diamond has to go find the book, go back to Marvel and get it shipped all the way back to your LCS. Um, Unless it's just something they have massive stock in. Superman 1 was a good example. They've got thousands of copies of Action Comics 1000. They had thousands of copies. That stuff easily fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in the same boat where it's like, how long do you go? Till they keep messing you over and you're missing out on everything. And it's just like mine was a good example this year. When we went through ownership changes, I had to go get my stuff somewhere else. I'm still a loyal customer to them, and they tell me, hey, we're trying to do everything we can do to get everything back to square. It's just going to take us a while. And what they did is they back ordered everything. They got some stuff in because they can get it in, but some stuff they couldn't. Luckily, we have other avenues like Legacy Comics, Unknown Comics, Midtown. If you go online, you can find the books you're. If you go online, you can find the books you're looking for half the time.
Yep.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what you can't find for retail is the variant covers. Without paying an arm and a leg online. Um, so they went through that same debacle, and then they finally get everything settled. It took them about a month and a half almost. They got everything settled, and then it was just like business like usual. Hey, I have a full box. I go pick up my stuff. I'm good to go. Usually the problem is it's not the comic shop. It's you as the consumer. We're the ones who forget to put that on our pull list. I've done that. I did that last week. I forgot to put Sandman Universe on my list for the Jim Lee variant, so I missed out on the Jim Lee variant. That's on me. Um,
Yeah.
but if you constantly have stuff on your pull list and you're not getting it, you really got to look at a new LCS. The problem is
Yes.
that a lot of stores, a lot of cities don't have more than one or two LCSs, if they even have one. I mean, I've been in a situation where I didn't even have one in my whole town. I had to go drive 30 minutes or 45 minutes away to go to an LCS just to get books. So it's like, what do you do? Well, at that point, what I would recommend doing is if your LCS isn't doing it and your furthest one's further away, you might start looking at the online retailers at that point,
Yeah.
to get what you need. Because there's, like I said, there's avenues to get books, but I can only go so far. Like if my LCS screwed me over that many times, I'm done. I'm going
Yeah.
somewhere else because it's business, and you think about it. I'm a consumer. I'm a customer. I'm paying money to get a product, and you can't get me the product. I understand supply and demand. I understand those rules. Hey, there's only so many they got. I get that. But if I've got something that's been on my pull list for a long time and they're still not getting it, time to go somewhere else.
Hmm. If not that, just go straight to Marvel. They've got subscriptions online right there, or DC as well, Image Comics. I'm pretty sure you can order straight from there. With the variants, like you're saying, Unknown and Midtown, you can actually, if you want to wait, sometimes if they don't sell out quickly, they'll throw those variants on sale for like 35% off. Just,
Hmm.
you know, if you can wait, then just wait for them, and they'll be there. Plus,
That's right.
you got a great Facebook group called the Syndi-Comics, and we got members galore. We can always help each other out too.
Yep. Well, and good example, like you guys remember, I was trying to find that Where's Wolverine cover.
Mhm.
That one last cover I needed to finish up the whole. And literally, it's like this damn tall. I mean, when you put all the issues together, it's like this tall. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
a cool like Where's Waldo situation. It's like, hey, I wanted to get that. As soon as I asked everybody, Demi did, you did, Kyle did. We had like 3 or 4 people went out and tried to find it. And I
Mhm.
got lucky. I just found it in another comic shop half an hour away. Luckily, they had it. And they're the only one who had the Bloodstrike book, the variant for the Bloodstrike, so I was able to get it there.
Heck yeah.
Um, but the catch 22 is that doesn't always work, So ask people. People ask me for books all the time. Like, hell, I mean, I just picked up Josh Penstad ASM #1 variant and sent it out to him. I've sent you books, sent Kyle books, I sent everybody books.
Yes.
It's just kind of how it goes. I don't mind. If I can find
Mhm.
it, I'll get it and I'll send it to you. And like I said, you're right. Syndi-Comics is that avenue. There's a lot of comic book Facebook groups out there, and don't get me wrong, there's like hundreds of them. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm part of about 10 or 20 of them. Because between grading, helping, and supporting and auctioning kind of work, I do.
Mhm.
There's a lot of them I'm part of, but I will say, Syndi-Comics is the easiest #1 place I go to because we're all a family. We all try to take
Yeah.
care of each other. There ain't no
Yes.
drama. If there's drama,
Yep.
guess what? I squash it pretty fast. BJ squash it, or Kyle will. Brock, I haven't seen Brock in 6 weeks. I don't know. He needs to show up on the screen. I invited him today, and he still did. He even answered the damn question in the chat. I'm like, "Do you want to come or not, Brock?" Um, we all love Brock. Same way with Cincy.
Yeah.
We all love Cincy. We give him all kinds of crap. If we didn't, then we know something's wrong. Um, but that's kind of the catch thing is like we're a family, we want to take care of each other. So if you've got things that you're trying to do, you're needing help, don't just sit there and wallow in it. Ask one of us and PM us. One of us will try to help you or put a message out there. Usually, the people that usually hit everything is like BJ, me, Kyle, and Rosie. We all try to hit every like or message it's on Syndi-Comics. We try to get on as best we can. We all have lives too, but we all try to help out what we can.
Yep.
Uh, so Tyler's got a question for us. Do you think Hasbro's doing a good job at putting random characters in their MCU line? Because I love it. Taskmaster, King Cobra, Malekith, and Dark Knight. Good side crew. There's a reason for that. They have to entertain both the MCU fans, the entertainment fans, as well as the comic fans to keep them involved. And
Yep.
here's the other catch for you It's also a marketing strategy. If you think about it, if you want to build that bath, you got to buy them all. to get it, unless you just buy the bath by itself. Um, for me, it's like for this last Infinity War wave 2, all I wanted was the Malekith and three of the the Black Knights. That's all I wanted. I don't collect MCU, so for me, it was like I just want those old comic characters. Like when that Taskmaster came out, that was freaking amazing. That my first picture I took was him fighting Deadpool, because that was always one of my favorite scenes with Deadpool fighting the classic Taskmaster. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the catch 22 is that Hasbro's been doing this a long time, but guess what? Their streak's about to change. So in the new Black Panther wave that's coming out in November, December of this year, it will be an all MCU wave. They've got so many figures they're going to be stuffing inside that wave, which also means, guess what? Nate can skip a whole wave of Legends for once. Thank hallelujah. I will be getting the vintage wave. I love the vintage wave. I have such. It's like I'm back in the '80s buying Marvel superheroes and freaking Migos again. Um,
Yes,
and Dan, I still haven't seen the Migos yet on my Target. I'm probably gonna go
I saw
freaking nuts when I see a Migo at a Target.
I saw him saw him Monday or Tuesday. Saw him Monday or Tuesday. They look good. It's like a whole line, dude. It's great. The whole end cap.
Yeah, I remember it was funny because I remember I was watching Netflix. They were talking about Migos, and the dude that runs Migo, he's like back in a year or two, and no shit, they are now back in my store. And it's like 1985 or 86 all over again, and I can pick up a Migo. Um, Hey RV, so talking about Rosie, here is Rosie, RV Comics and Toys. So if you guys don't know who he is Rosie Somerville. He is one of our admin on Syndi-Comics, so go give him a subscribe out on his channel. He does comic reviews, toy reviews, and he's been doing a crap ton of Mego stuff lately too. So go check him out. Um,
Yes, sir.
but the other cool thing that I like about it is that Target's doing NECA now too. So we all knew that with the Toys R Us closure that we were going to have a lot of issues, especially for us as collectors. Where do you get NECA at? Where do you get Transformer stuff at? Where do you get exclusive stuff at? Pops, whatever, because they get so much. Um, that there was so much in that Toys R Us that they knew there had to be a gap and there had to be somebody to fill it. Well, ironically, Diamond's actually filling that now. Previews, you can order a lot of the same stuff through a previews book. You just take your, literally, where is it?
Good.
This book you get from your local comic shop. It's having lots of issues because a lot of our stuff that we were buying was exclusive to Toys R Us. Um, but now they're going to make it a little easier for us because we can just go buy it from um, from previews through your LCS. So I highly recommend that you do that because there was one figure in here I wanted to show. Yeah, here we go. So previews. Okay. Um, you got the whole wave of Transformers. So if you're that, anything I see in here, I want to show on here. Well, you guys can see it too. But yeah, definitely check out previews. I mean, if you're looking for stuff and you can't find it in stores and whatnot, check your LCS out. They're going to hook you up the best they can. Going to be a little more expensive, but if you've got your discount, it all makes it even. Sometimes that beats buying it online or buying it there. And what it does is supports your LCS because, yes, you're paying Diamond, but you're also paying a portion of it to your LCS to help them out. So,
That's right.
so definitely go that route. And Tyler said he got his good guy Chucky from Target. So hey, good example. You got your Chucky. Um, all right. So now, have you seen NECA yet, BJ, at your Target?
I saw a little bit, just like it's just a handful. Looked like it got ransacked already. Like a couple of Freddy's and a couple of Jasons and a lot of Godzillas.
Yeah, I see, and that's the thing is like if you've noticed, a lot of those are the reissues of the ones they've already released before. That was in Toys R Us, months and years ago. So like the part three, that 3D one, that came out months and
Yeah.
months ago. Same way with the Freddy's ones; those have been out for a long time. But it's got to be a trial market too, because they got to see what sells at Target too. It's like Predators and Aliens. They put that in a damn Target, that's going to sell like nothing. Everybody's going to jump on that stuff. I
Yeah.
do. I mean, I have so much Alien and NECA stuff. Got rid of a bunch because I don't need 1,000 copies or 1,000 variants of one figure, But
Hmm.
at the same time, like there's certain characters I'd love to get. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how it's going to work. Oh, and by the way, there's a 20% off coupon for it, so go use that. And
Yeah.
it's good until I think what the 13th or 14th of August, I think.
Not too sure. I saw it
Yeah, I've got it on my phone. I'm using it next time I go to Target.
though. Yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, there is options out there for everybody. All right, and let's see. All right, that's all the question. Rosie says he's low key, but he loves his hobby and his community. That's all right, brother. Uh, hey, you helping us out, so that's all. That's all I can do is say thank you for helping us out. It's
Yeah,
hard
man.
running a whole page. You can't do it by yourself. So I really appreciate you guys helping out. Um, But with that being said, too, there's gonna be a lot of new stuff coming out soon. So let's talk about extermination. I know us, BJ, we're gonna be kind of really wanting to see what happens with that, because we're
Yes.
talking about the end of X Men Blue, X Men Gold, Uncanny X Men coming back, and then we have the X Men Black one shots
Mhm.
coming out as well.
Yep.
So what do you think is gonna happen?
Um, extermination. So it's got to be original Children of the Atom gonna have to be going bye bye some reason. And it made Rachel's got to be part of it too, just because of what's going on in Gold and her going back to her former self from the future. Um, I don't think Wolverine's going to be in any of it. So
Mm.
I was reading Astonishing X-Men from last week, and I didn't even know Banshee's back alive. So that's a new one for me.
Yeah, that was but he looks like a damn zombie in
Yeah,
Astonishing X-Men. I mean, it's like he doesn't even know who he is, what he's doing, because he's been dead for so long, you know.
yeah.
But
It's good like 12 years, I think.
yeah, I
And
mean,
since
like
Deadly Genesis, maybe.
Deadly Genesis, he died in that one, when they were
Yeah,
fighting everybody. I remember, um, and the bad part was like he died in that one, but like the whole Hound situation with Rachel in the last X-Men Gold, they said it's done. So we all know that they're never really done with that, because we've already seen covers of Extermination that's showing Ahab with Rachel and the
yeah,
X Men. So it makes me wonder though, is like if there's going to be that whole like Days of Future Past or Days of Future Present, scenario where they pull Rachel back into the future, or something
yeah.
like that. We'll have to see with like how X Men Blues is um, coming up because they've only got 2 issues left. We're on issue 33 already of that. So now
Yeah.
34 and then 35, then Extermination, and that's all she wrote for the X Men Blue. Welcome in, Keisha. Um, so the cool part is what we're going to see though is a big change. So we kind of saw that, and you probably did too when you read the last one with Magneto in it.
Yeah.
How Magneto's like, screw it, I'm just going to kill you all. I don't care. And then he pretty much gets stopped in the end by the X Men. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it was like the X Men have always planned for that worst case scenario of like, or having to stop Magneto permanently. And the last time they did that, created Onslaught. You know, so
Hmm.
and we do have Xavier back alive, and it's funny, like they're really not talking about that either. Like
Hmm.
Professor X is back alive in X's body, in
Yep.
Astonishing X-Men, but he's like gone. Like literally, they've not said one word about it since they changed writers and artists
Yeah.
in Astonishing X-Men. I got a feeling he's going to be back somewhere. It's going to cause a bigger issue, And we've already seen that in X-Men Red with Cassandra Nova being back, which I thought she was damn dead. I mean, I thought Xavier killed her off, and it was it, and we were done with her. She's the most annoying villain I think I've seen in X-Men books. You know, the
Weirdest looking one
twin
too.
Charles Xavier. Um, but the real elephant in the room though is like, so you've got all these books, going on X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold, X-Men Red. None of them are connected at all. Like,
Nope.
like none of the stories are. The only time they were really connected is when X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue had the Mojo thing go on for a while. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's like you don't even know like which scenario is going before what. Like, because it's like you've got the whole blue team doing their thing, and then they had the Venom, with poison. Well, that all happened way before X-Men Gold stuff happened in the wedding. So then you've got all. It's like, okay, what the hell's going on? Where's my damn compass or cheater stone to tell me which one is going first? Um, that's a little frustrating, even as an X-Men fan. So I'm kind of glad they're killing off these books, so we can go back to just regular 1 or 2 books a month for X-Men.
I'll take it.
Well, and the other issue I want to talk about, and this is the bad thing, I wanted to talk Marvel versus DC and how many books we get a month. Um, so DC's been doing 1 month, 1 book a month for most of their titles for years. And the last couple of years, Marvel's been killing us with like 2 to 4 books a month. X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold is a good example. We get four
Yep.
books a month, versus the one a month. And to me, I actually liked it once a month, not just because of cost, but because of anticipation for the book. It's like, okay, I'm going to be reading this book once a month. You can stretch it out, and then it's going to be better. Um, yeah, I'm getting real sick of Marvel on that one.
Yeah, and with being once a month, you can still actually have that extra cash to go buy another comic book that you are interested in, and you can go ahead and get it. But now you got to, I mean, as a diehard X-Men fan, you and I are, I mean, I want to read those books, so I have to get those instead of picking something else out like Infinity Wars.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good example. Like if I'm looking at Image is the easiest of all of them. I mean, they have like maybe 10 books a month. Like literally, unless it's like a new series that's coming out, you can pretty much budget a whole year's worth in 1 month. For Image. So that's all I liked about it.
Yep.
And I did want to bring up Image for this reason because we were talking about this week is Youngblood, and the cancellation of Youngblood because of the Blood Wars. We had kind of talked about it before. It was like, hey, the release schedule doesn't really look right with 13 and 14, and little do we know what happened this week.
Yeah, I think just those issues are canceled right now, and then because they want to go into this Blood Wars as a mini series, and then probably come back up next year. Some pick it up again next year, which I think that's what's going to happen.
It's like the whole Saga thing. Saga's taking a break, for a long time, and then they'll come back
Yeah.
to it later. It's just, and for me, it's kind of cool because we get to see Brigade back again in Youngblood. We haven't seen Brigade really in comics since the '90s.
Hmm.
So it'd be kind of cool to see them come back. It just like for me now, it's like okay, I've got Youngblood 1 through 11. All I need to find is issue 12, and I'm good now. I'm caught up.
Hmm.
But it's kind of the funny part is like I was really ready for 12, 13, and 14 to come out,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh crap, now it's going to take forever. Now, ironically, though, I do want to say it's funny that we talked about, Rob Liefeld taking over, for some of the artistry work, and now Youngblood's canceled. So I blame Rob Liefeld, like always.
Yeah, I think he wants to be a really big deal, so he wants to take time to make sure everything looks good. Don't rush anything, especially now that Toe is hitting up on the Marvel side now. His Cable's, I'm sorry, Deadpool Spider-Man issue came out this week too. I'm not sure if
Mm.
you noticed that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Liefeld is really meticulous about that. I mean, I went and met him about a couple of months ago when I got my Deadpool figure signed by him. He wants to take his time. Now, I didn't have
Hmm.
the heart to tell him you need to take your time on the feet. If you took time on your feet, then they would look real proportionate. But I always thought about that too. Is like you see, remember like how bulky he makes every Cable or Deadpool. If he did
Oh
that,
yeah.
it'd be like this, and his legs would be like this down, straight down. It looked like a damn truck or something. No wonder why he doesn't draw feet. Um, but yeah, they've got a Image has been really kicking out a lot. And the one that's really sleeper was that Die Die Die
Yep.
book. You know, you can't even find a copy of that number one for a cheap anywhere. Like, especially with the way they did the distribution on it, it was horrible. Nobody knew about it till it showed up. Um, I just have a hard time buying a book just on hype, though. That's kind of the catch 22. Is like, yes, I know it's Robert Kirkman, um, but Oblivion Song was a good refreshing breath of air from Kirkman. In a world like that,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. I have a hard time jumping in on hype books.
I mean, I saw it and I grabbed it because there was one left, so I was like, might as well. It's pretty good so far. Pretty bloody.
And that's what I heard for previews. Previews were saying how bloody and gory it was going to be. I'm like, I mean, I'm probably going to like it. Don't get me wrong. If I found the book, I'd probably read it and probably love it. It's just, it kind of irritates me the way they did it. And I understand it was to shock the LCS community. To do it that way. It's just frustrating as a collector when you can't go find your book at your LCS.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. With my LCS has been having issues with previews and UPS. He has been getting his shipment late, so he won't be able to get his shipment and everybody's subscription all taken care of till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. And once a month, I usually get there around noon just to get my stuff, and I always have a good chance of getting my stuff. And then the other times, I can't get there till like after work, 6 o'clock, and a lot of the good comics that really interested in trying out for the first time are already gone. But he's pretty good on I mean like ordering some more, and they'll be in like that Friday. If not, he's got other connections with other LCSs within the state that could help him out too. So he would buy them from there, and they would ship it up there, and it would be next week or something.
And see, that's kind of like how mine is. Like they had it. I think it was week before last. Shipments usually come out on Mondays or Tuesdays. And they process it on that Tuesday, get it ready for Wednesdays.
Yeah.
They didn't get their shipment until Friday. So and the bad part was like, okay, they have to process everything on Friday, Saturday, get it put in everybody's boxes, and then go do it again on Monday or Tuesday when the next set comes in. Well, the other catch 22 is that all the variants, you don't know what variants you get till they get the box in, or whatever they've ordered in, from
Mhm.
previews. So you're sitting there
Yeah.
waiting to find out on that weekend, hey, did they get it? And while you're watching the price ticker go up on eBay and on all the other pages, for those variants that you're trying to find. A good example of that was I was trying to get that Joe Kubert cover for the Marvel 2-in-1. I wanted the black and white one. Um, and so I told my LC, I
Um,
said, "You can get that one. I want it. I got the color one, but they never got the black and white one. I had to wait until Friday to find out, and by the time I did, it's already at $200 versus retail, because it was a 1 in 100 variant, So it's like,
wow.
okay, it sucks for us as collectors in that perspective. Um,
Mhm.
the hard part too, though, is for them. I mean, it's hard on us as collectors. It's really hard on LCSs because they're not making money now. They're having to wait, and they're talking days and days of not getting funds in, because they'd be selling all these books. Um, and I've been in the same boat where I've had to go like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All the good stuff's gone at 12 o'clock. If you ain't there on Wednesday at 12 o'clock and you didn't get it, you didn't get it. Period. And mine actually has a line outside the door at 12 o'clock every Wednesday, and it's the same guys every week. It's like I can't just do that. I have a day job. There's a
Yep.
lot. Sometimes I can get out and go do it, but not most of the time. Uh, But it's always interesting. to see like how distribution works because it's a pain. I mean, it's like, well, you guys remember I ordered all those Hellboy books, and the trade paperback ones, and I got volume 2 and 3, and then one came back later. It's just that's just how distribution works, and it sucks the way they do it at Diamond.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. We got Cream City saying we all thought Spider-Man and Guardian Infinity War, and yet we're getting another Homecoming and Guardians movie. Yeah, nobody really dies in comics. Cream City. They just
Yeah.
kind of get around, or they get put in the Soul Gem. They go into another universe. You know, a good example is universe.
They,
Nobody
they
dies.
get cloned.
They all go to hell or Valhalla. So they're never dead. Dead. So yeah. All right, and that's all I had from like stuff this week. Did you have anything else, BJ?
Not too much. No, just that one about the chances on your comic book store. That one popped up in my head.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean that's the thing is like, and if he's having issues, getting stuff, like we said before, reach out to one of us or reach out to the whole community. Just put a post out there saying, hey, can somebody go and help find it for us?
Yeah,
You know, because I mean that's the
recommend
big thing.
something.
Because we've got
You
tons of
know,
them out there.
yeah.
Uh,
Any kind of recommendations on how else to get a subscription? Online.
yep. Yeah, like my Hypno one, they do two versions of it of a subscription. You can do the in-store subscription, where you just go fill out a poll card, with them, or you can do an online where they ship it to your house, and you just go and build your titles up. You get what you want. About 2 weeks later, they'll send you a invoice and they'll say, "Hey, all these books are ready. Do you want all of these?" You say yes or no. They hit yes, and then they ship them to you. And it's all done through PayPal, and it's cheap. Um,
Yeah.
Dog says they all return. They go on coffee breaks. Yes, I'm waiting
Yeah.
for freaking Yondu to be back in one of these movies.
Yes.
Um, what you got this week, Beach?
Uh, just only a few, just a handful. I'm kind of minimizing mine weekly, just until after September for my road trips.
Sensi-Con.
X, yeah, X-Men Blue 33, the future original X-Men group. I'm not sure if this is the variant cover or not, but they're doing variants. That's pretty cool. Just one other one. Um, but yeah, going back to the Astonishing X-Men from last week's. This is probably good. It's a front runner for me now for best with it. It's good.
Well, and I love Land's work. I always have. Him and
Yeah.
Greg Horn are, some of the best artists out there. And
Mhm.
Rosenberg's been doing amazing with this stuff lately.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's cool is to see like, um, did you read that whole issue yet?
Astonishing
Yeah,
with drunk Peter Rasputin there.
exactly. Drunk Colossus, going with Havoc and Beast and the dead
Yeah.
Banshee. Uh,
Yeah.
and the cool part was, I think my favorite part was, is like Alex was like, "We don't want you, Dazzler. We want Ford." And then Allison saves her ass in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. This storyline gives me hope for Marvel in the near future.
I mean, it's one of those stories that you could read it and you actually enjoy reading. It reminds me of like, remember in
Hmm.
the 90s, like you'd read Uncanny X-Men or X Factor, or, something like that. Like those,
Yeah.
like you could read one story and it was great, and it was good the whole time.
Hmm.
It wasn't like you have to read 20 issues to get to that one point.
Yeah.
Um, Morrison. uh, um, But yeah, I'm with you, man. Astonishing X-Men really really good, and I like how they do it. It reminds me of like Marvel Comic Presents, like where they would do that rotating artists and writers and stuff around, and gives people like, and like for example, like Chad. Chad never had got a chance to work on X-Men, but when he did X-Men '92, he got the opportunity to do that. It's like it's nice to see Greg Land, and Rosenberg do X-Men, and just do X-Men,
Hmm.
not just do covers, not just do variants, stuff like that, but actually draw and do the book.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so my pull, and it's actually smaller this week.
Mm. Yeah, that's good.
And if it wasn't for variants, probably I'd have like 5 books. So first up, we got Domino, of course, number 5. Is this a mini series?
I was gonna ask you. I hope not.
It feels like a mini series. Like reading this, it's like I don't know. It's like it made me think that it's going to be one.
Yeah, I kind of hope not, but
Let's see. We got Adamantium Agenda, number 4. If they got the variant of this, let me know at your LCS.
okay.
Mine didn't get it, and that's the only one I'm missing from the whole damn set.
Uh,
We got X-Men Blue, of course, 33.
yes.
Um, A- ASL number 3. Let's see, we got Exiles number 6. It's funny because it's like the Exiles versus the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in the Western days.
Cool.
We got, of course, Fantastic Four number 1. Dan Slott and Pacelli.
Yeah.
Um, and see, I got a couple of the variants with it. I love wraparound covers. So this is the first, I guess, of 2 or 4 of these books. This is the
Uh,
Arthur Adams one.
I think it's two.
Yeah, it's 2 because I think it opens up right,
Yeah, I think so.
and then I got the Casada wraparound. Do this one too,
Cool.
and then it was kind of cool. It's like this is the teaser variant of it by Sarah Pacelli. She made this cover specifically for the issue. So this is the image they've been using at Marvel for a long time for the return of Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
Um, and talking about my boy, gotta do this sideways. Jack Kirby variant.
Wow.
They had this one, and then they had the black and white one. I wanted the black and white one, but I'm not paying the price for
Right.
it. We got Mortal Men, number 5. Hawkman, number 3.
Cool.
This is just a badass cover. Plastic Man, number 3.
Jeez.
And let's see, we got Justice League Dark, number 1.
Let me know how that is.
I'm interested in it
Yeah.
because, after the whole No Justice thing, they broke magic. This is supposed to
Hmm.
they go fix it between them and the unexpected. So I'm kind of interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. That was out of
Um,
all the Justice League groups when they did the No Justice. That was one I was really interested in, was the Dark one.
yeah, and I want to see how it goes because they're talking about a movie, Justice League Dark movie coming out. I'm wondering if it's going to be pulling a lot from this book. We
Well,
got
James Gunn's available.
Sandman Universe number 1. Um, and let's see, we got a bunch of variants. We
Yeah.
got this one. This is, of course, the Dreaming, the new version. And then this is, of course, the old Sandman, from the 80s and 90s. Because that was kind of a cool homage to the old
Yeah.
one. We got a chibi Sandman variant. And these are actually all the artists. Of course, except for Death, up here. But these are like the artists on it.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that was kind of cool how they did that. And then This cover just looked awesome, so I had to get it. Sorry about the glare.
That's crazy.
It is. It reminds me like the Crow mixed with Sandman. Um, and then last, Oblivion Song, number 6.
Now, Sandman, is that DC or is that Vertigo?
Both. Since DC bought out Vertigo a long
Yeah.
time ago, actually under the Vertigo imprint.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
bring back more Vertigo, please.
yes, bring back Starman, bring back Preacher, bring back all those good ones. I'm all in for those ones.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, they're trying to do that with Doomsday Clock a little bit, trying to give it that Vertigo feel with it, and
Hmm.
it's like, all right, there's only certain people that can do that. Johns, you don't do Vertigo, you don't do that stuff. Let somebody else do it. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't read it yet, but I know there's a bunch of one shots coming out soon for Sandman Universe with it. And then that's it though. They're not doing a new series. It was Gaiman said I want to do a little bit. I don't want to go full blown again on it. So I'm like, crap, damn it. Because the last time we saw Dreaming, you know, oh, and Ryan's asking, what is a Sandman? Okay, so let me explain Sandman in 5 seconds. Sandman is the guy who runs all the dreams for all the universes, essentially. He lives in a place, called, what was it? I forgot what it's called. He lives in an area outside of all of the, universe, and he controls all your dreams. Now, if something happens, in a dream, he can go into it and fix it. Or he can go cause a nightmare if he wants to. It's up to him. Um, but the catch being is that he was killed off in his series. Well, somebody else got appointed to be the new Dreaming, which was, of course, brought into play during Dark Knight's Metal. So if you guys remember, the Dreaming was brought back in, and he has a new supporting guy, the guy with all the books. That is all the stories of all the minds and all the dreams in the world, in the universe. So they brought the new guy in, and so the new guy is supposed to be in this book. So I'm interested to see how it turns out. Hope to God, they bring back Death, they bring back the original Sandman, but we'll have to see how it goes. So if you want to read Sandman, go read the first trade paperback. It's like I think it's Preludes and Nocturnes or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Go read the first volume of them. Great book. All right. So yeah, that's all I got. So shockingly, no trades, no hardcovers, no nothing. Just that set of books this week.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm failing, I guess.
I
uh,
mean, I'm also reading a trade when I'm at work on my lunch break. I'm reading Scalped for Jason Aaron's storyline off of Vertigo, and then on Hoopla, I am reading the Sheriff of Babylon that was recommended by Kyle, and that was what's his name? The King.
Tom
He's
King.
writing. Yeah, Tom King wrote that. So those are really good ones. Non-superhero wise, graphic violence style, uh, pretty damn good stories too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, Tom King can write the hell out of a book, just not Batman. You
Yep.
know, Other than Batman, he writes some amazing stories. Him and
Mhm.
Remender are some of the best writers out there. Um, but what gets me is like Marvel doesn't have any really good writers, as far as consistent writers. Rosenberg has been doing really good. Cullen Bunn's been doing good. But there's no one writer that really sticks out at me. Gail Simone, of course with Domino, but
Mhm.
but there's no one that really sticks out. There's no Remenders. There's no, other than Donny Cates. Donny Cates is the man, what he's doing right now. Um, but I wish they had more writers like that on the Marvel side.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, these there's lots of stuff coming out over the next couple weeks. So everybody get ready. We got Extermination. We've got Fallout from the wedding at Batman. There's still a lot of Fallout stuff going to happen from there. They've been talking about that one. Um, and I saw today, if you've been reading the Injustice 2 book, Harley and Poison Ivy got married. So that might be an issue you might want to pick up if you like that, if you like those characters. Because that is a big area that a lot of people are always worried about. You know, they always thought about, hey, are they ever going to get married? Or are they ever going to be together? Because Ivy and Harley's been together in many times in comic books. Um, it's happening in that Injustice book. So if you want to see it happen, go check out that book.
Hmm.
Um, it was a cool little thing I saw today, right before we got on here, actually.
Yep.
Um, and the only other thing, big wise, of course, Infinity Wars is happening. So there's going to be a lot of fallout from Infinity Wars once it gets done. Get ready. The Amalgam universe is coming back as part of Infinity Wars. So if you've seen any of the previews in the back of Infinity Wars, they call it Infinity Warps, where they're giving it a
Oh,
combination of people. Like I forgot, like one of them was like Hex Wolverine Hex or Hex Wolverine or something like that.
yeah.
Um, they're doing the whole amalgam thing all over again. So hey, it's like we're reading them again from back in when it was Marvel and DC combined. But yeah, that's coming in. And then, of course, we have new as Guardians of the Galaxy coming out with Angela being a member of them. Um, so that's going to be interesting. Of course, Magneto's evil again, so that'll be an X-Men Black. That'll have them, Mystique, Juggernaut, and I think there's a couple other ones. Um, they're all about to become bad guys again, so it's kind of nice to see X-Men villains go back to being just villains,
Hmm.
versus the semi good guys or not. Yep, Ryan says Howard the Duck. Yep, there's a Howard the Duck coming out too. So if there's a Howard the Duck, where the hell is Man Thing at? That's usually typically the two things. And if you've been reading Weapon H, that's where Man Thing is at now. So there's a lot going on, especially Marvel wise. DC wise, um, the one sleeper book that a lot of people probably don't read is Hawkman. And Hawkman is actually dealing with all the issues from Metals. So we've been talking about what happened after Metals. We had no justice. We had the source wall stuff. We had all that. But what happened to Hawkman after the fact? Well, you need to
That's
really read
true.
that series. Is that he's dealing with everything that happened, and he's dealing with all of his futures and past selves. So
Oh,
definitely go read Hawkman. Um, and then, of course, Image. I'm always going to say right now, my favorite book, Cyberforce, Oblivion Song. Go read the books, Youngblood. Um, but, yay. That's all I got tonight, Beach.
yes, sir.
All right. So, everybody out there, thank you guys for coming by. Thank you, BJ, for coming in and hanging out with me. We always have a fun time every week, even if it's just us two. It don't matter. Kyle decided to be a loner, not wanting to be with us. So, hey, it's his loss.
Man, that's all right. It's playing with his hot toys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Comics versus hot toys. I'm gonna go comics any day. So, all right. Thank you guys out there in YouTube land. Thank you for everybody for being here. Come by and check us out next week. Same time, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. We try to do this every week at the same time. Just trying to
Yes.
make it a little earlier to help out with everybody. So we'll see y'all next week.